What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It is a beautiful fall day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, as today is Wednesday, I'm going to do a WTF Wednesday review. For those of you who may be new to the program, WTF Wednesday is the one day a week when I showcase a beer I normally wouldn't on the program. So sometimes that means I do stuff from the big boys like Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I do interesting offerings from microbreweries, and I've been also trying to get my passport stamps up with some international beers. Now, this one's going to fall into that first category. This is definitely a macro beer. So this is Pabst Blue Ribbon, affectionately known as PBR. I'm sure everybody is familiar with this. From Pabst Brewing Company, which is now out of San Antonio, Texas. Just feels weird saying that. So this one comes in at 4.7% ABV, 10 IBUs. Like I said, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. This has been around forever and then kind of became popular when all the hipsters started drinking this a few years back. Now, I can remember having it here and there back in probably the 90s. When we would drink whatever you could get your hands on. But it was never something that I really sought out. But it also wasn't something that I disliked. So I figure it's time for a revisit. Now, this one is actually a request from Sasquatch 7720. I think he asked me twice to do PBR. And I will say this, I bought one a while back, probably about a month ago, to review it. And then I ran out of beers and just drank it without doing a video. So I repurchased it yesterday. And I think I got this over at the Meijer for, I don't know, maybe like $2, $1.89 or something like that. So relatively inexpensive beer for 24 ounces, which is equivalent of, I guess, 2 cans. Color, this one actually doesn't look too bad. Probably 4 or 5 maybe, pale gold. You can see right through it. Moderate carbonation, a fair amount of bubbles. They're kind of small. Head looks pretty decent. I'm working with a finger and a half, 2 fingers worth of white frothy head. Looks good. Let's give it a sniff. Not a heck of a lot going on in the nose. And I can actually smell for once. After my 2 weeks on antibiotics and steroids, all my polyps are gone. I can smell wonderfully. This doesn't have really much of a smell. It just kind of smells like generic beer. It's kind of like, if you think of generic macro beer, it's kind of like grainy and cereal grain, corn sweetness kind of thing. It's like that. It's not over the top offensive, but it just kind of smells like generic beer. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. I spilled some on my first sip. Body's lighter than I remember it being. Probably say medium light. It's not offensive. It's not distracting. As to the taste, you had a couple little things going on here. I mean, you can definitely tell that it's a macro. You definitely get that cereal, corn, adjuncty kind of taste. But you get a nice little bit of hops to it at the end. It's like a tiny bit of bitterness. Well, I will say this bitterness kind of is throughout, but at the end, I think you taste it more as you swallow it. You get the hit of the bitterness, but it's kind of there throughout. It's not super strong, but I think when you compare this to other like macro beers that you buy for the same price, I think this is more beer-like in that you taste a tiny bit of something other than just sweet corn. What do I think about it? It's all right. Is it something that I'd regularly seek out? Probably not. Is there anything offensive about it? No, there's not. So, for that reason, I think that I would probably say PBR is a thumbs up. I'm pretty surprised with that. I thought I was going to dislike it, but, it's not bad. Ratings-wise, it does okay on the socials. Untappd 2.85, Beer Advocate 2.95. I usually view 3 as middle of the road, what I think is an okay beer. So if I like it, but it's all right, like not something I think is awesome, 3 is a good grade for me, 3 out of 5. So if this is close to 3, and I'm sure there's some people that just hate on it because it's a macro, not bad. The overall rating on Beer Advocate was a 69 pour. I don't think it's that bad. I think this is probably in the 70s. I'm not saying this is an A or, if you look at it as a grading scale, I don't think it's an A or B beer, but it's a solid C, I think, all day long. If somebody gave me this, I wouldn't be mad, and, I have no problem drinking it. So, thumbs up for me, surprisingly. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, if you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Do you drink PBR? Are you a hipster or just a normal human that drinks PBR? If so, let me know in the comments. Hey, till next time. Cheers.